All right, we're back. Crypto market overview. That's what's on the menu today, early hours of Monday. I'm going to talk about the market through the eyes of the Bitcoin, mostly the Bitcoin, and we'll also talk a little bit about the situation with the Cardano, just to shed some light into what is lying around the corner for us in the near future. Kind of medium to long-term perspective on the market. Again, focusing on the Bitcoin, right? Obviously, the Bitcoin is the king. It heavily influencing the rest of the market, right? It just pulls them in wherever it goes. And the Bitcoin, no doubt about it, was super explosive over this current month, which is still running. But basically, at its lowest low, it was dipping a little bit below 67,000. Still this month we're talking about. And then shooting itself right out to the outer space, if you will. Almost making contact with the $100,000 mark. It got really close. I have that blue dotted line to represent that all-time high, the highest high from probably a couple of days ago, if I'm not mistaken, 2-3 days ago, right? So 99,660. That was pretty close, right? I mean, tiny margin from the $100,000 mark. So for me, it actually counts as hitting that milestone, right? So I think this could be a kind of a warning flag for us looking forward. And we knew the market was in a bull cycle, right? But the bull cycle might end at this point, and this is a critical point that we need to take maybe a couple of steps back, sit on the sideline for a bit before engaging and committing to continuation of this upside move, of this bull cycle of bullish positions in place, right? Again, the $100,000 mark is a big deal, right? From a psychological standpoint, I mean, it's a fine, round, psychological number. We know the market is behaving in many cases, right? We have that herd mentality. So that's why the 100,000 mark would have any effect in any market. And we know it does, right? So I feel like this is a critical point, a make or break type of point. Again, $100,000 mark. Right now, we see the market coming off a little bit over the last 2 days, I would say, right? Starting to bend over. Doesn't mean that it's going to have that full-fledged downside reversal, but I would keep an eye on the situation here. Once price action starts to base itself, establish itself above that area, that might be a good sign to potentially continue riding that wave. Now, there's another level slightly above at 101. I think it's worth mentioning, right? So it's not just the $100,000 mark, which is just a psychological number. No, it's not really a technical resistance level, right? At the end of the day, we have to remember, we are in uncharted territory right now, right? Never been here before. So there's no point of reference to aim at, to work with. There's no technical resistance that we can use as reference, right? So again, a $100,000 market, that's one of them, but here's another one. Sitting slightly above 101,836. Almost can round it up to 102,000. It sits the big key level resistance Fibonacci of 161.8. That's an extraction type of measurement where you would take the previous major opposite move, and we're talking about the big picture here, right? This is the monthly chart. So the big opposite move was the big bear cycle that started off in November 2021, right? Price action was coming from 69,000, and it lasted for quite some time. It lasted for a full year. So from November 2021 till November 2022, lowest low, believe it or not, was 15,500. It was not that long ago. It was just 2 years ago. Imagine that. From 15,000 to 100K. That's like 6x's in 2 years. That's pretty impressive stuff. Nevertheless, price action is very high, right? It's very high. It has a lot to turn around at this point. There's a lot of space, a lot of room to fall into, right? It's like looking over a cliff at this point. But yeah, back to that level. So what I was doing, measuring that whole bear cycle, that's the last bear cycle, right? And just applying that 161.8 to measure potential, end for that bull cycle. And the 161.8 does a pretty damn good job. And it just happens to be slightly above our $100,000 mark, right? So quite a lot of resistance area in that little gap between the 100K and the 102K. Just some food for thought, something to think about, something to consider. But that's the angle coming from the Bitcoin as far as I see it. I want to give you another one to ponder about, and that's the Cardano. Where the Cardano, we know there is a serious resistance level, a major resistance level coming in at 0.9350. And I know what you're thinking. I mean, price is already way above that level. But I would suggest otherwise. I think the market definitely overshoot itself over the last couple of weeks, right? Week or so. Very unusual movement. We don't see that type of movement every day, right? Not even every month. I would say not even every year. So I feel like this might be an overshooting situation where the market's going to correct it could correct violently and quickly. But I have a feeling that by the end of the month, the Cardano is not really going to pass through that 93.50. It will drop back. It's already starting to drop, showing that spike, suggesting that price action is closing in on that 93.50. And we still have quite some time to the end of the month, right? We have like about a week. Maybe even, pretty much about a week. So, yeah, I think we should keep an eye on that week where if price action by the end of the month managed to close back below 93.50, showing just a nice spike slicing that resistance area, that's a clear sign of an end to this bull cycle and a potential full-fledged downside reversal where price action can go back quite a lot. Pretty much to, the levels it came from, 0.40. So we're talking about 50%, 60% drop right there and then. So again, keep a close eye on this one. Obviously, the flip side, it closes the monthly bar above 93.50. That's a strong bullish sign, right? So the opposite will happen. That will give us confidence to pursue a bullish standpoint on the market long term. So now, for example, with the case of the Cardano, in the analysis, we will start measuring the big bear market. In the case of the Cardano, started off at September 21 all the way down to early 2023. And from that point, we will start measuring corrective areas, mostly the 61.8 and the 50%. And we'll start using those as medium to long-term targets to work with, right? But I would still, again, be patient, wait to the end of the month when the market's closing in at, especially regarding the beat and that stretch we talked about between the 100 and 102. In the case of the Cardano, we're talking about 93.50. And that will give us that confidence to pursue a direction for the market with strong conviction. All right, guys, that's about that for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. Wishing you a nice trading day and a nice trading week. We're going to see you in the next video. Take care.